Hey friends, today we are diving into how to create and inject subliminal slides for your videos automatically. So this process turns your videos into dynamic, entertaining works of art, I promise. The secret behind it is make.com and getting AI to be creative for you on your behalf. More on that in a moment, but let's see what I'm talking about. Here is an example video that I ran through the automation with a slide injected. Everybody get ready for a subliminal message. Gonna be great. So it's fun, right? And this is just the beginning. You take what I'm showing you here and bring your own creativity to it, and I promise the sky is the limit. Let me walk you through it. So I've been a developer for a long time, and I'll share one tip for staying sane, which whether you're using make.com or another system, is to bracket your inputs and outputs at the beginning to really help you think through what you're trying to accomplish all the way. So the beginning of this process, imagine you drop a file into a Google Drive folder, and then all the way at the end, after all these steps, you have a rendered video at the very end with the slides. So by the end of this process, you have a fully rendered video with the subliminal slides saved in the outputs folder in the Google Drive. So the goal is to flesh out our automation in between one module at a time, making sure that each new module that we introduce works with the ones before it and after it. And just by following this basic pattern, you'd be surprised at how much faster you'll be able to work and kind of make sense of make.com just by following that basic pattern. So let's build this up. Sanity tip 2 is test the riskiest parts of your workflow first, which is often the last step. So for us, we want to begin at the end and test the tool that's responsible for rendering the final video. It's called Create-O-Mate. Here we want to make sure that the Create-O-Mate API can even dynamically render a video along with these subliminal slides that we're putting in. So we'll use a Sybil example here and pass a hard-coded URL and image to Create-O-Mate to verify that it can insert these slides. So let me walk you through it. I just set here the video URL, image URL. I gave it these drive URLs, which you can actually pull out. What I did was I uploaded an image and a video, and then I just ran this single Google Drive module to show these new images and this new image and video in the output. So anyway, that's just a quick hack I had for getting a publicly accessible URL. I set that here. Oh yeah. And I set those values here, and then I pass them into Create-O-Mate. So let's take a quick look. Create-O-Mate has an API where you can just pass it a JSON object that describes how you want the video to be edited, which is cool. So here we just hard-coded the duration to be 3. We're using a very short web clip to make our dev cycles quick, right? Then we pass in the video URL that we just hard-coded, and we pass in an image URL that we just hard-coded. So now with any luck, our little subset of our automation we're building up here will save a video to Google Drive. Okay, great. It looks like it worked. Now let's move on to the next one. So what's the next riskiest bit to build up? We are assuming that we can somehow generate slides that are pegged to certain moments in the video, and no timestamps, no magic, right? So let's make sure that our transcription API, Assembly AI, can actually give us word level timestamps. And then with those in hand, we can pass a time-coded transcript down the line to pick out the highlight moments. We'll use AI for that, but we'll get to that in a moment. Let's first make sure that Assembly AI supports our use case. Okay, so we're introducing a new API. So this Assembly AI service is what's going to extract our transcript for us. We want to double check to see if it can actually give us our transcript with seconds, right? Like an in time encoded. So I'm just passing that video URL to it, and let's check what the output is. And let's check it out. We get words, and each word has a start. That's great. So that's what we need. That's the start. That's in milliseconds. So it starts at 240 and it continues on. That's great. Okay. So now what we'll think about doing is we want to package this up into a format that we can give to the chat completion API from OpenAI to say, like, here's our transcript with all the time encodings. Like, what are the highlights? All right, so let's go on to that piece next. So we have this. We're going to examine the transcript, identify 2 key highlights, and we give it a format that we want at the end. We want it to be this JSON format, which is prompt, which is a string, which is a number. And then we give it the prompt, we give it the actual transcript here with the times. So, this will become dynamic, but for now, we're just going to try it by itself and see what we get back. Okay, great. All right, so we got back highlights, prompt like this, timestamp 1, a group of excited animals wearing party hats, eager to prepare for a subliminal message. I'm going to be great. So that's good. And then here's the next one, a comically exaggerated scene of a mailman, etc. So here are our 2 image prompts. This is so cool. We are asking one large language model to create prompts for another large language model being creative for us on our behalf. We can tweak what the input is to each step here. If we want to make these prompts have a slightly different flavor, that's great. You just tell ChatGPT to be creative in a slightly different way. I said ChatGPT. OpenAI API, chat completion API. So here I'm actually just going to skip into our final automation because it's fairly simple what we're doing. We saw that the output of our chat completion was like a set of prompts, a highlights array that had prompts in it. Here we're just going to use each one of those prompts. We'll use the iterator in Make to go one by one through each one of those, generate a DALL-E image from the prompt, and then at the end we pull those together. So I'll skip over the gory details, but that's the general idea. And then finally, we just hand that to Create-O-Mate. We saw earlier that we knew that Create-O-Mate was able to handle our basic task, right? It was able to handle the things that we wanted it to do. We could take a URL, but here you can see with a fully dynamic version, we want to tell the Create-O-Mate the final duration. This audio duration comes from our assembly AI, but it's just basically telling us the length of that video that we are working on. Then we give it the Google Drive URL. So that's the raw video that hasn't had anything inserted yet. Then we grab these are the images that DALL-E created, and we put them at the timestamps. If you remember back from our first OpenAI call, we figured out the timestamp of a highlight along with the prompt for an image. So that just goes here. That's all it is the timestamp and the image URL that was just created. And we do that again. In this case, it's just fixed to 2 images. We can make this more dynamic and have as many images as we want, or just have fixed kind of slots that we fill. That's all stuff that it was totally cool to do. Please do if you're interested. So this piece here is fairly straightforward. It's just once we get the output from Assembly AI, we just need to format it into the transcript format that we want. And so here we just iterate over all of the words that we get. We divide the start time in milliseconds and turn it into seconds. So it goes from 255 or whatever to 0.255. That's what Create-O-Mate wants at the end. So we put those together and the result is seconds here in these braces, and then we have text, which is the word, and that way we can just pass it to OpenAI. All right, so let's talk about future enhancements. This is all happy path, right? So one of these APIs is going to be down or rate limited, or something's going to go wrong. So we would want something to catch errors and retry in some sort of smart way. There's another thing that's interesting. So this is Create-O-Mate, and we could actually have a step here where it's kind of human in the loop, where we could take the JSON that we had and they were creating over in make.com, bring it here, drop it and paste it. And then all of a sudden we have the ability before the video is rendered to look at the images and the things that have been created. So here you can see this is got a video, it just has a simple timeline editor. This is one of the images. This is another one of the images. So what we could do is you can obviously move them around on the timeline here, which is nice. We could even make this a customized UI, which would not be a big deal, and make this so you can, let's say, right click on edit the prompt, set it back to DALL-E so we get a different image, things like that. And that could be kind of fun. If you guys are interested, let me know. That'd be a pretty easy project to pull off. So this is a custom automation. There's lots of cool stuff to be done here, but then of course you have great AI video editing services like Descript and others that will do all kinds of stuff for you, take out filler words and make your life much easier as you go to edit your videos. So my goal is to continually help you level up your AI and automation skills in 2025 and beyond, all while staying sane. So if you would like me to expand on any of this, please comment down below and feel free to reach out to me by the link below as well. All right, goodbye, my friends. Thank you.